Modded Xboxes work really well for a lot of the retro systems and MAME, but not too well for the PlayStation and other emulators. What's up, new Antoine? All right. So this is what we'll be doing today. Well, it's backwards, but this is a like a RetroPie kit you can buy from Amazon. I have a lot of experience with the first one and the second one. I used the first one for a Naomi NetDem, which allows me to play like every Naomi game. And then the first one was a little bit too slow for emulation. Like stuff kind of lagged out, and I just didn't. It had a lot of input lag. The second one is really good. It's really fast. It's good for most things you need to do. The emulators run really well on it. The N64 still lags on this one. But PlayStation works, Atari works, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, TurboGrafx, Saturn doesn't work that well, but there's a bunch of emulators, and I'll show you. This one's completely done. I'll show you guys this one when we get done with 3, just to show you what a fully configured RetroPie looks like. And here's RetroPie 3. The reason why I wanted to try the 3 is because it has a few added features. It's like 4 times faster, which is always nice. But it has integrated Bluetooth and integrated wireless. So that's a really nice feature for using like wireless controllers. Like you can use a like a PS3 controller. I have this other controller. Let me go grab it 1 second. I have this 8BitDo makes this one. I'm not used to this stuff being backwards. It's called the Famicom 30 Pro. It's Bluetooth, and it works really well. Has like the dual analogs on the bottom. So I'm mostly going to use that for the system. For my RetroPie 2, I used a like a generic Super Nintendo controller. So this kit, let me actually get you guys the link to this kit. You can buy the RetroPie from most places like Amazon and Newegg. I tend not to hop on them right when they come out, as people want more than what they're worth. And yeah, I know my keyboard is really loud. So this is the link to the kit. Hey, Monjay. So this kit comes with a power supply, a case, 2 heat sinks, the RetroPie 3, all for $49.99, which is about what it would cost you to buy everything separately. So it's just easy that way. You want to make sure if you're buying the pieces separately that you want to get a AC adapter that's 2.5 amps. The old RetroPie 2 only required 2 amps. And the 2.5 isn't enough. If you want to overclock it, or if you really want it to perform really well, you're going to want that 2.5 amps. Alright, so let's start by building the thing. And if there's any questions, this is not meant to be like a professional tutorial. This is meant to, like, you know, talk about it and help people out with it. have the RetroPie 3, which is pretty basic. It's got HDMI, it's got 4 USB, Ethernet, and then this has like a pinout for all these different accessories and expansion boards, as well as a ribbon cable, 2 different ribbon cables. And then it has headphone jack out and built-in Bluetooth and wireless, like I've mentioned before. All right, so we're gonna put these little heat sinks on it. These aren't necessarily needed, but they do help. The RetroPie 3 gets even hotter. We'll be trying to configure the wireless controllers, the Bluetooth controller. I had trouble with it last time. I tried to do a pre-run, so we might have to resort to just doing the USB controllers. But we're gonna try to get the Bluetooth controllers working. So there's a bigger heat sink for the main CPU, which is on the top. There's also a GPU on the bottom, which you can heat sink as well. You haven't tried a PS4 yet controller? They made it a lot easier, 'cause, like, you do mostly everything through menus now. So you just you have to install like the PS3 driver. Yeah, I have the Buffalo controller as well. This is version 3. Yeah, I guess I'll put that in the title, thank you. Oh man, my freaking OCD is gonna kill me. I put the sinks a different orientation. Not that I have OSD, but OCD. OSD? I don't know what OSD is, but yeah, let me upgrade that to Raspberry Pi 3. Alright, we got a case. Does not have any screws in the case. That must just be snap fit. Interesting. Heat sinks are out of sync. Can't say words like sync and when somebody's streaming. Confuses them. I'm like, what's off sync? So just a generic 2.5 power supply. This one has like a filtering for the 5 volts. And then it's I believe it's micro USB. This is a weird case. Oh, it even has the cutouts for the heat sinks. That's cool. It's got nice ventilation on the bottom. Then it has a top cover, I guess, if you want. Very nice. The top just kind of sits on there. It doesn't like snap or secure down, which kind of annoys me because the top part could probably fall off. Yeah, I have those fancy SNES USB controllers. Let me grab one. So these are really well built compared to the other Super Nintendo controllers. It's a lot heavier and the buttons feel very close to factory. My only annoyance is the turbo button, which you can accidentally hit. You hit turbo and then like X, and then that button's turbo, or you can just hit clear and then hit the button. Can I put the camera adapter with the cover on? I don't know. I don't have the camera. Yeah, I've used that same controller for emulation on the PC, and to use it for like a game controller, and it works really well. All right. So first thing we have to do is get the image ready for the SD card. I did a 64-bit. 32-bit would be big enough if you don't want that many CD-based games. But if you want to have a couple of cool like PlayStation and Sega CD games, I would recommend getting the 64. Let me see. Maybe I should do a desktop catcher. Might not be able to capture the desktop that you're streaming from. But anyways, you just format it using like a standard Windows format. So you just put it in, you right click the SD card, you hit format, and you do the default FAT or FAT32. So that's formatted. The next thing we do is get the image from the RetroPie website. So they have pre-configured images. You can just go to download, and you want to get the one for the Raspberry Pi 2 or 3. So I already actually have that downloaded. So the next thing you have to do is image the SD card that you have. And if you need the link for the RetroPie website, it's right there, the download. So next we'll be getting Win32 disk imager. You format as FAT. Yeah, just right click on a quick format's fine as well. So yeah, the next thing we do is get the Win32 disk imager. And you download this tool right here. Yeah, there's an HDMI to VGA adapter which works if you have VGA in the back. I think there's also a component adapter you can get. But yeah, the Raspberry Pi 1 had a composite out. I think there's more people coming with expansions out for the Raspberry Pi 2 and 3, which allows you to hook it up composite and component. Component would honestly be ideal because that would be 480p. So you download this, and it looks like this image right here. Well, I'll actually open it and I'll capture the image. All right, so from here you select your image file. Which is the RetroPie 4.0.2 image for the Raspberry Pi 2 or 3. And then you make sure you're on the correct external drive, which is my F drive in this one. And then you hit write. And I'll ask you if you want to continue, and you hit yes. On my other monitor, I normally stream with two monitors. My other monitor, I'm installing Windows 10 on Cathode Rays' new PC, which was a real pain in the ass because it was a month past the free Windows 10 update. So you have to do a couple of ridiculous things. The 3.5 audio is really loud, yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that's just an analog out. Maybe the HDMI. The HDMI audio is probably better because it wouldn't have that the sound conversion of like things working. So this takes a little while. What you'll also want to do with this program is once you have everything configured, to make sure that you don't mess it up, you want to make a backup of your image. So what you do is you would kind of do like the reverse of this. So you would, well, I'll wait till this is done and I'll show you guys what to do. I had to send the PC back into the back. I had to install Windows 7 and then do every single update possible. But because for some reason this Windows, it was Windows 7 Pro, it didn't want to do Windows Update because they locked out the service. So I had to patch it to be able to do updates. And then I had to, which took forever. And then to figure that out. And then I had to do every single update, which was 220 updates with like 8 restarts. Hey, Aquas. And now I finally just got Windows 10 installed. And now Windows 10 doesn't want to update. But whatever. I still have to drag over MAME, which is 140 gigs. I don't know if he actually has enough room for MAME and everything else like that. I'm trying to get him up and running so he can start streaming. Yeah, he'll need DirectX as well. Why not keep Windows 7? Windows 10 is really good. The 64-bit version of Windows 10 is actually really nice. Alright, so the write's successful. So what you would do here, when you're done with your Raspberry Pi image, like if you want to clone it, the good thing about these systems is that like if you have a perfect setup, if you buy the exact same memory card, you know, SD card, and clone it, then you can give it to somebody and be like, here's a completely configured Raspberry Pi 2, which is what I did for my girlfriend. She has like my baller Raspberry Pi 2, which has like everything on it. So what you do is you would just put where you want to save it, and you would put like, you know, Al Raspberry Pi best install ever Raspberry Pi 2.img. And then you would select where you want to, what device you're reading it from, which would still be the F drive or whatever drive you put your SD card in, and then you'd want to hit read, and then that would store the that would make an ISO, or it would make an image of the SD card. SD cards tend to be like pretty sensitive, so especially these micro SDs. So eject the device correctly and just handle it with care, because I've actually broken 2 of these by bending them. Alright, so we're gonna put this on the Raspberry Pi. It goes kind of like upside down, so the side with the copper or the tin goes into the bottom of the board. The first I think 2 have like a spring loaded, whereas this one is just push loaded. Alright, we're gonna hook up HDMI. Get some power going. Again, we're using that newer 2.5 amp. You can use like a cell phone charger or something like that, as long as it's 2.5 amps. 2.0 amps will run it, but you'll get glitches and like it won't be to the full device power. So I'm using, you can use a Bluetooth keyboard or any USB keyboard. I like to use, this is like a, I don't know, like an $8 mouse and keyboard combo. It works really well. And it seems to work natively with anything that I plug it in. Like, it doesn't require any drivers. So you're just gonna plug that into one of the slots. You could probably get this keyboard to work without this little dongle once you have it set up. But just for the setup process, I'm going to enable the dongle. Mountain J, I think I found it even cheaper. Let me look for a link, and then I'll tweet it out. Let me get the key for this. I find it best for you to boot the system with everything already plugged in, because it has a sense of auto-detecting. That way we don't have to try to go back and plug stuff in. So I'm plugging in one of these, the Buffalo controllers. And it should be good to go. As long as we can get the capture to see it. There we go. So since we have the gamepad already detected, it detects it. So you just hold a button down, and you hit at the inputs. And these ones you have to skip over. You do that just by holding a button. If you have a PlayStation controller plugged in, which just USB, you would be programming all of these in. You hit A and it takes a second. So you can't go left and right here because there's nothing to go left and right on. But you can go in and through the menu. See if we can change the resolution so we can see the full image. So A is forward, B is backwards, like if you have a normal, like, Super Nintendo controller. No, I haven't tried NetPlay yet. So I'm looking for the resolution. I think it auto detects and sets resolution for the main screen. Normally it automatically launches in 1080p instead of 720p, but maybe because I'm trying to feed it to a capture, it's doing 720. Because we can't see this whole left side of the screen. Let me see if I can capture this a different way. No. It'll just take me a second to figure this out. Well, it's not here either. Oh, one warning, you don't want to install different themes if you have more than 10 consoles configured, because anything outside of Carbon crashes the system. Oh yeah, I forgot. You want to do this. You want to do this first option that's available in the Raspberry Pi configuration system. Is you want to do expand file system. What that does is it makes sure that you're using the full potential of your SD card. Oh yeah, this overscan is something that you want to do as well. What overscan, if your TV accepts it, is sometimes when you configure the Raspberry Pi initially, you get a black border at the very bottom and top. You want to enable this overscan option. I'll go right back into it, Monjay. So I'm on J the what was it? I think this was it right here, the config file. PyConfig. So you go into that, you want to do expand file system. And then you want to go into the advanced options and do this overscan. If your TV has black borders on the top and bottom, you want to enable it overscan. You can also manually edit that in a config file, but you can do it here as well. All right, let me look on how to change the resolution size. 1 second, guys. Scribble, can you go further into SMB? I don't know that much about Linux. The latest Doom. I don't think the latest Doom will work. Well, that's cool, Scribble. You pull your ROMs from a server. Nice. Let me just try rebooting it with it set to 1080p. Yeah, I like it being mobile. With as cheap as SD storage is, it's not bad to have it all on one SD card. Wonder why this I'm pretty sure if I were to just plug this RetroPie into the monitor, it would get 1080p instead of 720. But we won't dwell on that. It's just a pain not to be able to see that side of the screen. Okay, so anyways, now you're going to want to put some ROMs on here. The way that you do, there's two ways to do that. And you can SMH into the RetroPie, which I'll show you a program to do that. Actually, it's called WinSCP. So let me get a link for that. So you can download WinSCP from this link right here. And just get the installation package. That's the easiest one to deal with. So let me start that up. So what you want to do is you want to get your IP address from your RetroPie. So before we show this, let's get our IP address. So you can actually do this straight from the menu. Just go down to the bottom. Thanks, Centaur, for the follow. Oh, I don't have it plugged in yet. Dang it. You can configure the Wi-Fi, which we can do, or we can just directly plug it in. It's easier just to directly plug it in. So to get it to assign an SP or an IP, we're just going to restart it. That's the easiest way. Scribble, do you want to have like every PlayStation game ever, or because the 64 will fit a lot of stuff on my the RetroPie 2 that I have set up? I have every Super Nintendo, every Nintendo, like every retro console and every ROM for that retro console, and then I have like a few CD-ROMs, Sega CD, and whatnot, and I could even fit more. MOBA Xterm, okay. Well, the one that I will show, WinSCP, it works as well. All right, so from here, you just go into the RetroPie setting, and you go to IP. So you wanna put that into your you want to write it down, and then you're going to put this into WinSCP. So it's 0.10. Port's fine, and then your username's Pi, P-I, and your password is raspberry. So from here, you go to, where is it? You go back to the root, the home /pi/RetroPie, and you go to ROMs. And then from here, you just drag any ROM in, and then it will automatically, then you just reboot the system or reboot Emulation Station, and it will automatically find it. What's up, Rubber Ducks? So we'll just drag over a couple just to show you that it works. So I'm going to drag over a Game Boy Advance ROM. And you can manually drag it from your File Explorer, and it'll just copy it right over. I don't know where all my ROMs are. I thought I had backups of everything. I think it might be on this SD drive. One second, let me plug this in. There we go. Al's not porn backup drive. I do so many weird things that sometimes I forget that I do stuff like that, and then it makes me laugh. Hey, what's up, Biggest Bacon? Let me get this so you can see the you can see a little bit more. So this is the Raspberry Pi. If you're just coming in now, we're configuring a Raspberry Pi 3. Right now we're using a program called WinSCP to basically FTP into it to copy over the ROMs. I'll be showing another method where you use a you can use a thumb drive and you copy all the ROMs over. I actually found that the thumb drive method, if you use a USB 3, was a lot faster than copying stuff over. It was really quick. So I just organized this folder that you're seeing to the left onto this thumb drive, and then I just plugged it in. And as soon as you plug it into Emulation Station, it automatically copies stuff over. But we'll be showing that method as well. What's up, to be more crazy? How you doing? All right, so this is the hard drive that I previously configured last time I set up my RetroPie with just all my ROMs. All my legally games that I own that I have backup copies. So this is the main, this is the RetroPie that we're into. We're into home/pi/RetroPie/RetroPie/ROMs. And we're just gonna drag over ROM from everything, show that it works. So here's a 32x game. So you just copy it over in the 32x bin. We'll do Doom. Well, I know Calibri works. The ROMs copy over really fast. It's when you're doing giant batches that it takes a while. We'll do a Mega Drive game as well. Let's see, Master System. It's a cool Master System game. Maybe Ghost. Ghost House. Yeah, Lancer. We'll do that. So the Genesis is called Mega Drive. They're the same system. The N64, I don't have completely configured. Like that one takes a little more work to get working really well. But we'll still try. Yeah, I hear it's a lot better on this, on the Raspberry Pi 3. Oops. Well, I almost copied over that game that you like so much. I gotta get that Gim boss. Oh, it's not on here, I don't think. Hey, Rudy Soup. Oh, here's another thing that we have to do, remember? So to get some of the systems to work, you have to copy over the BIOSes, which is something that I forgot. Most of these work right away, just because they're built out of RetroArch. But some of them, like the Sega CD and the PC Engine, require the BIOS folder. So let me see. What do I tell you guys to Google? Let me look. I can host a file too. Is anybody currently building this? Because if so, I can host the file. Last time I was looking for it, I just Googled RetroPie and BIOS, and I was able to find a BIOS collection. But yeah, if you need the BIOS files, just let me know. And I'll tell you where to go for it. But I'll show you guys how to do it. So this is the BIOS file or collection that I found, and you just copy all of these over. I think you just copy them, yeah, right here to the BIOS folder. So it's home /pi / RetroPie and then BIOS. I'm trying to remember if you actually copy just the inside of the folder or the whole folders. The folders would have to be the same name, so let me see. Let's look at the name of the ROM folder. So if they have the same name, I'm pretty sure you actually just copy them right into the BIOS folder. So we'll copy the 32X over. PlayStation. Was that all the music? Put some more on. So that was Pliny, if anybody liked that. I dig his stuff. I don't think I need the Game Boy Advance BIOS, just in case. Atari, I don't believe I need, but... Alright, so once you're done dragging over some ROMs this way, well, I'll show you the other way to also do it. So you have a thumb drive, and you just you put it in. You want to make sure it's FAT32 on the thumb drive. And the instructions for this are right here. So in the folder of the thumb drive, you create a folder called RetroPie. Let me see. Let me capture this. So we formatted this folder. We're just gonna click new and just create a folder called RetroPie. That's it, and then you just eject the drive. All right, let's go back to RetroPie. Now it's not gonna see the ROMs until until you actually restart Emulation Station, because it scrapes for the ROMs when it launches. So we're just going to take the USB drive. Let me move the capture over a little bit. And you just plug it in when it's at this menu. And you give it a minute. The RetroPie has lights that let you know that it's thinking. So when the USB, you can see it blinking right here. When it stops blinking, you know you can unplug the USB drive. And what this is doing is it's creating a ROMs folder, like the file structure that you need to copy the games over to the USB drive, and then next time you plug it in, it will automatically copy the games over. So it's done. So you can go ahead and unplug it. Alright, and we'll go ahead and restart the RetroPie to show you that some of the ROMs have copied over that we did through the WinSCP. We'll go ahead and do a full reboot. You could probably just do Emulation Station. Well, I know you can, but we've made some other changes, so. And I found that if you have a fast USB 3 drive, it's just faster to do it this way than to SCP over. So it automatically will add a menu system for the ROMs that you've added. So we added Gimmick, we added N64, Mega Drive, Master System. You can also go left and right into the menu. The standard to get out is to hit select and start, and that will go back to the main menu. So you can go left and right in here, and you'll go alphabetically to, you know, whatever game you added. Alright. So let's do the USB method before we get that much deeper into this. So we're going to plug in the USB drive that we plugged into the RetroPie into my computer. So now within the RetroPie configurator, the USB drive, we have the BIOSes that we can copy over. you have your configs, and you have the ROMs. So to show this works, we'll copy over another ROM into this folder. We'll do Trip Rolled for the Game Boy. So I'm just physically from File Explorer to another File Explorer. I'm just copying it over into the thumb drive. And then you just want to eject the ROM, or eject the thumb drive. Okay. So we'll copy over the new, it'll like scour the entire drive and copy it over. I think you can run compressed ROM zips, but it has to, right before you launch the game, it unzips it. So it adds to the process. The actual file size of the ROMs is not that big comparison. Because they're so small. These ROMs are like 32K, 50K, etc. Now, some of the CD games, I know the Neo Geo games have to be kept as zips, and I think maybe the PlayStation and like the CD-based games you can have kept in a zip file, but I just extract them just to get them to launch as quick as possible. Alright, so it's already copied over that ROM. The ROM was Trip Rolled for Game Boy. As you can see, we don't have Game Boy yet. So we'll just unplug this and then restart Emulation Station. Okay, first one, Game Boy. So you hit a button there if you want to configure, otherwise it'll just launch to its default settings. And the settings that I've been using, here, I'll hit the button. So if you have trouble with an emulator, which you might have with N64, the rest of them, the RetroArch, the default RetroArch ones is good. So for the emulators, you want to configure to 1080p at 60. And then I find it, at least with the Raspberry Pi 2. Now, see, I don't have that much experience with the Raspberry Pi 3, but with the Raspberry Pi 2, everything ran faster if I rendered the game at 720p and then had it upscale to 1080p, as opposed to render in the native resolution. It's probably different for the Raspberry Pi. Well, I'm not going to change the rendering, but but this is somewhere where you're going to have to configure it for each emulator. But I found best results for configuring it for 1080p and then rendering in 720p. But I would, fool around with that. So you change the default video mode right here, and then your render mode. Where is it? The render resolution. So I found that the 720p render resolution, but the Raspberry Pi 3 might, run a lot faster, and you don't have to do this. But because of I'm capturing the Raspberry Pi in 720p, I don't want to mess with the resolutions that it spits out. Okay, so once you have all of your games on there, well, let's do a well, you can do PlayStation and stuff like that just by dragging it over to the ROMs folder, just like we did earlier. So now what you want to do is you want to make it look pretty. If you notice, it's just giving you just a title. You know, you can actually do what's called scraping, and it will give you a full description and picture and everything. It's a really cool. It looks a lot cooler than this. There is a built-in scraper in RetroPie, but it takes forever, and it's not good. So the default one, you just go to here, and you can choose where you want to scrape from. The archive doesn't work, from what I've seen. Games database does, and then you hit scrape now. And if there's any conflict, like if there's like 2 different Barbie games, or the ROM it doesn't recognize what ROM it is, it will ask you to confirm. And when you're doing the entire Super Nintendo, etc. library, it's just way too much work. So there's actually a better scraper that we can install, and we'll do that now. So we go to the RetroPie menu. I need to see this side of the screen. There we go. So we're going to go to RetroPie setup. Hey System 11. We're playing around with RetroPie 3. This is a fresh install. I don't remember where this... Let me see. I thought it was in here. Oh yeah, it's right here. Configuration and tools. So, catastrophically drunk. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, we're just setting up a RetroPie station. We have it all set up now, and we just added the ROMs, and I'm showing them how to scrape for the artwork and for information about it. Narkoshin? Is that how I say your name? Hi, Narkoshin. How you doing? So from here, we want to look for the S-Self scraper. You can also configure your Wi-Fi here and your Bluetooth controllers. If you're going to want to use a PS3 controller, you would have to install a PS3 package. There we go. The Scraper by Steven Self. So you want to hit OK, and it automatically downloads and installs. Holy shnikes, system. That would even get me drunk. Oh my god. Go make yourself throw up, dude. Freaking, if tequila got in there somehow after all that whiskey, you're not going to be feeling good. Jeez. Yeah, I've really, because of my diet, I've stopped drinking as much, and now I get drunk off, well, I get a buzz off like 2 drinks, or 2 whiskey drinks, not beer. Whereas, I used to be able to drink close to a 4th. And you're 6'3", yeah. I'm 6 foot, but I'm like pretty heavy dude. Okay, so the scraper must not be run while Emulation Station is running, or the scrape data will be overwritten. Please quit from Emulation Station and run RetroPie from the terminal. Alright. I'll show you Wi-Fi if you want to do that. So you just try to connect to Wi-Fi, and it will show you all the Wi-Fis that are here. And you just click on it and put in your password, and it's good to go. Now let's look at Bluetooth devices. Oh yeah, PS3 too. So you can just install all of the Bluetooth devices that it accepts. And you can configure what kind of Bluetooth mode. I'm going to try to connect, well, I'm just going to try to see if you can see this 8-bit controller. So with this controller, and there's a whole wiki about setting up different controllers. Cathode, it's going well. I think it's all up to date. Did you want me to start copying over MAME? Because that's going to take a while. It's 140 gigs and you have like 230 free. So I didn't know if you wanted to wait till you got another hard drive or what. So you have to put something into pairing mode, just like you would with any other Bluetooth device. So you just turn this on this device. You just turn it on. It's got nice little glowies to let you know. And then I believe the blinking blue means it's looking for the device. So let's see if that's true. So, okay. You only really need Groovy MAME if you're going to be spitting it out to an RGB monitor at the correct resolution. And we've talked about this before. You don't really want to do that for streaming because you want the upscaled 720p or 1080p MAME image. You'd be getting a 240p image and it'd be harder to capture. So, I mean, I would just do the MAME dump that I have. It looks and it runs great. It's already configured. Sorry, I missed some chat. Biggest bacon's drinking ends with self-loathing, but that's already built in. System 11's most of my drinking stories end with women. Jeez. When I get drunk, like, I don't get crazy or like forget stuff. I just like kind of get more chill and a little bit goofier. Oh, that sounds horrible with the wasp and sleeping on the stairways. Where were you going? And yeah, I could beat that story, but I'm not going to tell it on Twitch. You can have it in high res for streaming while running 15K. I don't think you can. Go back and look at that video that you showed me, and when you go to MAME, if you don't have like 2 monitors, it turns off all the other monitors and spits the signal out. Hey, Shannon Safford. Just avoid the whole thing of going to 15K. If you're gonna have a nice gaming monitor, just play off that. You get somewhat confused till you fall asleep. But I mean, you can do whatever you want. What I'm asking is, do you want me to copy over MAME on your SSD, which is, you don't really need MAME on an SSD, or do you want to wait till you get a hard drive? Yeah, I can't really drink that much right now because it just postpones my diet, which stinks. I've lost 20 pounds in the last month through diet and exercise. It sucks. Okay, anyways, so sorry about that distraction. So it does see something, a Bluetooth device we'd like to connect to. So you hit OK. All of these settings are fine by default. Oh, I think the controller turned off. Okay, gotcha. So it correctly paired with it. And then you want to set this up, I guess. Please reboot for the configuration to take effect. Okay. Alright, so let's just get back out to the main menu and then we'll do scraping. Oh, Monjay, you got it going? Nice. So I don't think it's gonna work right away here. So I think it's paired because the device goes solid blue when it's paired. So let me reboot Emulation Station. Or reboot the whole device, actually. I had trouble getting the Bluetooth to configure right away last time, but I really didn't play with it that much. I did get this controller to work right away by manually plugging in the USB into the system, and then I think you can get it configured better. But I'm not going to go into the controllers that much because it's a little bit more work. And there's wikis, there's several wiki pages dedicated to just setting up the controllers. Cathode, you're gonna have to mess with Groovy MAME. All you do is you're going to install. You're gonna have your whole MAME structure and everything set up, and all you have to do is extract Groovy MAME to the same folder, and it will find the ROM folders and everything like that. And then you can make whatever display settings and whatnot. There's a lot of editing of ionize and stuff like that when it comes to Groovy MAME, and I don't really have the time for that, nor means to spit out a 240. Like I don't have the arcade VGA and everything. It'd just be a lot of work. Alright, so what was I doing? Oh yeah, I want to scrape the images. Alright, so we want to go to a command prompt. So we just hit escape. Or you can just quit out of it. If you have your keyboard configured or plugged in, you can just hit escape and that will take you to a command prompt. Or you can use your keyboard and hit start, or your controller and hit start and go out to here. Alright, I have to look up this sudo command again. Okay, I think we just go into the configure menu. So we'll type in sudo /home / let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Pi. And then I think this stuff's case sensitive because it's Linux. So RetroPie. Where's the dash? This keyboard's so small. I totally did not type the RetroPie correctly. / pi _ setup .sh. You want to repeat the name? SteelNet says you can use tab to autocomplete. Oh, nice. All right, later, Biggest Bacon. And this is the page I'm on for the scraper. Let's get more information on that. All right. Is this installing it again? I thought this was to run it. Boom, boom, boom. So we're reinstalling it by accident. Okay, that's fine. So once you have all your ROMs in there, you'll go into this and you'll want to scrape all systems. All the defaults are fine that I've seen. If you do update the whole system, if you update just a certain section, you can choose only update certain folders. That way you're not sitting forever. So this will do the scraping now. It shouldn't take too long because we only have like 8 ROMs in there. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Sorry I'm not more organized like I said earlier, but I've done this I did this process about 4 weeks ago and I didn't take any notes. I spent like a whole day doing it. So when the RetroPie 3 came out, it actually came out right after I was finished with it. I was like, oh, I should do this again and I should make it a stream, but I didn't have any notes, so kind of flying. I ended up writing some notes down, but it's not as detailed as I'd like it to be. But if you're here, you should be able to figure out the rest so far, or even better, just look up a wiki. This GitHub /RetroPie has a lot of information. So we'll just reboot the system. You could probably go back out to the command system and restart Emulation Station from command prompt, but it's easier just to reboot it. LSPoo, Pinball Wizards is my Twitch team that I'm a part of. We stream physical pinball games and emulated pinball games. What we're playing with right now is a Raspberry Pi, which is a little miniature computer that was originally designed to build or to supply cheap computers, to places that can't afford it. And of course, we've decided to turn them into emulation stations. So this is a Raspberry Pi 3. This is the newest one. We have it configured to run ROMs from like different consoles. So now the stuff should be scraped. Oh, is it not? What the fuck? I thought everything was scraped. That's weird. Let's see if I can do it from here. That's not where we want to be. Well, we did that. Oh, there's a setting here as well. What is it? So save metadata on exit. What that does is it keeps statistics, like how many times you've played a game and whatnot, or if you gave it a rating. If you load your RetroPie up and it starts being really slow, because what it does every time you start and exit the system, it's having to load all that metadata. So you can actually turn that off. And then parse games list. I believe that searches. That's the command that makes sure it searches for new games. I think if it's off, that means it doesn't search for new games, but let me double check right now. If on, it will only read the ROMs you have scraped. So if you add any new ROMs, it will not look for them unless you turn this back off. So for right now, we'll keep it off. The metadata, well, we can have on, but if just know that if your RetroPie gets slow, you want to turn that off. Same thing with this as well. And then if you add new ROMs, then just go back and turn this on. Let me just try to reboot just in case, make sure that the scraping didn't work. Alright, well let's try that again. I hate typing. I hate typing on this little keyboard. Let's see if it like shows the ROMs that it's downloading or the images. Yeah, see? It's downloading the Barbie one. I could use your keyboard, yeah. It's alright, this is all set up. Alright, all things have been scraped. Maybe it's this perform reboot that I'm doing that's erasing something, instead of just doing a physical reboot of plugging in and plugging out. So I think I might play some games after this. What do you guys want to see? I have the PC Engine set up already. I don't know why it's not scraping. Huh, that's so weird. No, I did the same thing with the Raspberry Pi 2 last time I was set up. Some Devil's Crush, word. But let me show you guys the Raspberry Pi 2 that I have all configured. That way you can see what a finished image looks like. Can I use a 2.5 amp plug and a 2. Will overamping the old Raspberry Pi cause issue? Let me see. Let me look. I think it should be fine, because it's still just providing 5 volts. I can just plug in the other one, just to make sure there's no issue. So this is a Raspberry Pi 2 that I built, and I've got like a decent case. It's a clear case for it. I was thinking about painting it to look like a Nintendo case or making decals. This has a 32 gigabyte image, which I've completed. So we'll plug in the USB controller. And we have a 2 amp micro USB for this one. This cord's shorter though. Is it hanging off? Yeah, so the menu must auto boot to what it detects, because I have this one all configured for 1080p, and it's shooting on a 720p signal. What's nice about this this other case is that it has a lot more ventilation, and then it has these rubber stops at the bottom, because as you can see, my other case goes flying. All right, so this is one that's all configured, and scraped and whatnot. All right, see you, system. Signs suggest he isn't. He's trying to win you over other ways. So yeah, 955 Super Nintendo games. I think I just have Sonic on here. (32x). So because of the weird resolution, it's spitting out 720p instead of 1080p. We're getting a little bit of a crop here, which you wouldn't see on your TV. But yeah, it's nice. It's got like a lot of information there. If it's more than just that paragraph, it will auto scroll like that. Drink seems to have worn off. My god, dude. You can go left and right to go to different systems. (666 games available. That's funny. So I have like folders here too. I think it says SGX and then Japan, or you can click the normal. So ROMs just launch, you know, right away from here. Oh, it might be trying to spit out. I think it's probably spitting out 1080p. Let's see. Yeah, it's spitting out 1080p. But yeah, the picture looks amazing. Oh yeah, there was one other. I think there was a setting that I had to. No, I don't think so. I think with the Raspberry Pi, the last Raspberry Pi 2 install that I did before they moved to 4, the image by default would be kind of blurry instead of these hard, jagged, sharp pixels, which is what I prefer. Sorry if this has, it's probably his game audio that I can't hear. So I'll just mute that. No, I'm playing off a delay of the capture, but yeah. The games look nice. It's still wanting to spit the menu out in 720p. For some reason. If you want to go fast, you can click the right or left shoulders, and they will go right goes down, left goes up. You can also hit select to jump to a letter. And for some reason, instead of starting at the beginning of the letter like you think it would, it starts in the middle. Hey, Waffles. Yeah, so Monjay, if you want this image, you know, we can work something out. I need to update this image to run on the Raspberry Pi 3. I haven't tried plugging this SD card into the Raspberry Pi 3, but I think it would work. It would just be set at the Raspberry Pi 2's clock speed. So I just need to look on how to update that config file. Most likely, I probably just have to delete it or copy over the config file from this Raspberry Pi 3, because like so this has two partitions when you do the SD card. It has the main Linux and RetroPie install that you can see from you know, like a Windows. You can see from a Windows drive or a thumb drive. But you have to, you can't see the ROM folders. Like, you can't just drag over those folders. You have to, you know, SCP into it, or you have to use the thumb drive to be able to see it. You can SSH into it as well and be able to do terminal stuff like that. But yeah, I think I should be able to update this image to the Raspberry Pi 3 image that I have. So I'm playing with like a few frames of delay because of the capture, but I'm still able to get that trick. So, you know, it has to work pretty decently. Because I'm like ridiculously sensitive to input lag. Well, not ridiculously sensitive, but yeah, I hate input lag. So this is nice. I have this set up on my big TV, my big 60-inch TV out in the living room, and it gets a lot of play. Like I have I have arcade games you guys have obviously seen, and for some reason, people always end out just hanging out in the living room. So I figured, you know. So I'll have like my Nintendo on in the living room, or I'll have a console set up, or a weird movie set up there. That way people can see it, or that way people can have something to watch. But now I'm having this set up, and people seem to play it a lot. Trying to think what I want to play. No, I actually haven't played Gimmick in forever on stream. The real Gimmick. Yeah, maybe I'll play some Famicom. All right, let me set that up.